Yeah, today was wonderful. Obviously, a lot of excitement getting the guys out there on the field. I mean, to see guys be excited for training camp with smiles on their faces. You think about it again, we keep talking about this. It's been 7.5 months since we played football. And since these young men have been able to put on a helmet, a lot of new faces, but a lot of excitement for the 2020 football season. And it's really nice to see a lot of enthusiasm out there. The biggest thing, like with any first practice, we got a lot to clean up. A lot of execution issues with alignments and assignments, but we'll get it fixed, and day one is in the books, and we're excited to keep moving forward.
Okay, Jason Munns.
Coach, how you doing?
Good, Jason. How are you?
I'm all right. Like riding a bike?
Exactly right. Yeah, I mean, it's I told you guys, the other day, I mean, I'm as excited as anybody in the country, and to get back out there with our guys, that's where I feel the most comfortable. You can kind of lose yourself within those white lines and just really focus on football. And that's the nice thing is we're able to do so in a safe manner. But there's been a lot of things outside of just the game of football that have occurred. And that's my job as the head coach to be able to handle it. But when we get within those white lines, I can kind of just focus on the task at hand. And that's really exciting. And that's what I was hired to do as well. To be able to get out there and coach, see our wonderful coaching staff coach, and be around our guys on the field was absolutely awesome.
Okay, question from Brian Moss.
Hey, Coach, with not practicing in such a long time, was there anything that surprised you in a good way seeing your team for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wasn't surprised by the enthusiasm. We know our guys are willing to work. But, you get to see a lot of these young guys, right? We had some of these young men that had come here in January that we were expecting to be able to see in spring ball. So really excited, And then to see some of these veterans, a lot of great leadership out there. Today it was great. You could hear DeMonte Coxey all the way out in Knoxville. He was yelling so loud and getting those guys enthused, and Brady White leading the guys, TJ Carter, and those linebackers. So it was really nice to see, but just pleasantly surprised with the leadership role that our senior group has taken.
Okay, question from Jason Munns.
Ryan, I would assume there was no adjustment period. I would assume as soon as you got out the door, you felt normal, but it was undoubtedly, everything going on, it's very abnormal. But was there a moment at all early on or at any point where your mind sort of stepped back and took stock of putting all this in perspective, what it's taken to get to this point, what it's going to take over the next 4 weeks to be ready? Yeah,
great question. I told our staff, in a pre-practice meeting, I said, we've got to appreciate this. I said, we're fortunate that we get to be able to do this. Obviously, there's a lot of things occurring in the world today. And so we got to take advantage and be grateful for this opportunity. And then I was out there in the field, and it was about 30 minutes into practice, and I kind of stood up and looked around, and I had a gigantic smile on my face underneath my mask, and no one else could tell, but I was just gleaming from ear to ear and just saying, okay, it's taken a lot of work just to get out here, and it's going to continue to take a lot of work to stay out on the field and keep our guys healthy and safe. But yeah, I did. I was able to sit back and reflect on it, but it was all in a positive manner. And so that was the nice thing is, look, like I said, our administration, the school, everybody's put in the right protocols. And so out on the field, I felt really comfortable with everything that was occurring, and it made me really happy to be out there and sit back and try to reflect and say, wow, it's been a hell of it's been a hell of an 8 months. I think still back to our conference championship game and everything that occurred from that night forward, my life has never been the same. And then to have the opportunity, obviously, the Cotton Bowl, but this is the first chance where I feel like, getting to start afresh, and with everything else that's occurring, this was a breath of fresh air to be able to be out there with our team right now.
Jason, you had a follow-up?
Yeah, I do. Where are you right now?
I'm actually in the indoor facility. I would like to say I'm in a beautiful new meeting room, but we're in our beautiful new indoor facility with a great backdrop. And, I wish you guys could be here, but hopefully sooner than later.
So I didn't mean to jump back in, but
You're fine.
How much, like the makeup, the mechanics of practice today, how much was, who did you separate into groups, and did some work inside, some work outside, or everybody outside some and everybody inside some?
Yeah, we stayed outside the entire time except for during special teams. I thought it was a great transition. Sometimes we have different units that come in, so we will get a good 15 minutes of work with special teams in our indoor. The people that had to work the hardest were probably the training staff and the cameramen that had to run down the towers and then run back up some others. So we were able to come inside for that. And, I think our players were enthused. There's a lot of excitement about this building. So, but we stayed out in the grass fields. This is the first time since I've been here. We've had 2 beautiful grass fields that are in wonderful shape. And I think our players enjoy being out there as well.
Did you notice any rust out of anybody, coaches, players, staff, anybody?
I think that rust got knocked off immediately. Again, there's been so much excitement. The NCAA's allowed us to do what I called OTAs, to be able to do those walkthroughs and a lot of meetings. So, yeah, a lot of things to clean up, a lot of film to be watched and things to be learned from today's practice. But, yeah, look, we're all rusty, and tomorrow's going to be better than the next day. And then guess what? I'll say the exact same thing on Sunday. And every day we got to keep improving for September 5th because we got a great season ahead of us and a lot of excitement moving forward, but it's one day at a time.
Anybody flash today?
Look, I was just really impressed, like I said, with the enthusiasm, more so than anything, of that senior group. They're excited to be out there, and you don't see guys too often that are, fired up to be out there at training camp. And to afterwards, they all had smiles on their faces also. And normally after training camp, the first day they're worn out. So that means maybe I need to work them a little bit harder, but look, I was really proud of the effort, and we just got to continue to get better.